Today, we're going to break down a pretty harrowing story from a driver on Highway NH66. It's all about luck, pure recklessness, and how an entire world can change in, well, a heartbeat. And this whole terrifying event, it really just boils down to a single number. 5. That single number, that's the entire timeline for a story that could have ended in just absolute tragedy. But 5 what exactly? Yup, 5 seconds. That is the tiny, tiny window of time we're going to dissect. In just 5 seconds, the lives of so many people, from innocent kids to a totally thoughtless writer, were all gambled on a razor's edge. So, to really get a grip on the chaos that's about to unfold, you first have to picture the calm right before it all went down. It was 4:08 in the afternoon, that kind of quiet hour when the day is winding down and the road feels predictable. But on this particular day, that predictability was just a total illusion.
Okay, so here's the scene. First up, you've got this image of total innocence. A scooter, probably heading home from school with 2 little kids on the back. Just a normal, everyday sight, right? Then we have an auto rickshaw, and its indicator is already blinking. Now, this is a super important detail because it's signaling its intention. It's telling everyone on the road, hey, I'm about to turn. It's a key piece of this whole puzzle. And finally, there's one more car, just moving along, nice and steady. Everything is where it should be. Everyone seems to be playing by the rules. It's the kind of scene you drive past 1,000 times and never, ever think twice about. So you put all these pieces together, the scooter with the kids, that turning auto, the steady car, and they form this almost perfect geometric Y shape on the road. It's all very orderly. It makes sense. But this neat little pattern is about to be violently ripped apart. And then, this is the moment. This is when it all goes sideways. Out of absolutely nowhere, the catalyst for all the chaos just appears, shattering that afternoon calm in an instant. Meet the Phantom. It's this young guy, maybe in his mid-20s, on an ash gray scooter. And he doesn't just pass the car of the person telling the story, he slashes past. No warning, no signal, just pure, unadulterated speed and recklessness. And the way our narrator described it, wow, it just says it all. This wasn't just a close call. He said it was, quote, a margin so thin it felt like life was writing in razor-sharp italics. I mean, just think about that. A single twitch, one wrong move, and this story would have a very, very different ending. And just how thin was that margin? Get this, 1 inch. The distance between the speeding scooter and the witness's car mirror was just a single inch. That's nothing. It's less than the width of your thumb. That was his entire buffer zone between himself and total disaster. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down those 5 critical seconds, moment by terrifying moment, and see how one bad decision just snowballed into the series of unbelievable near misses. All right, let's run the clock. Second 1. He flies past our witness. Second 2, he threads a needle through a gap he had no business trying to fit through. Second 3, he swerves around that turning auto, the one that was clearly signaling its every move. And just when you think it can't get any more intense, second 4, bam, a dog just walks right out onto the road, directly in his path. And somehow, in that final second, he misses the dog and just vanishes. It's this insane ballet of bad decisions and pure blind luck. But here is the part that is just so chilling. The 2 most vulnerable people in this whole scenario, those school children on the scooter just up ahead, they were completely oblivious. Danger came within inches of them, and they never even knew it happened. So after the adrenaline fades, what are you left with? Just this profound sense of shock. Because you realize what you just saw, that wasn't skill. No way. It was something else entirely. It was a moment of just pure, unearned mercy from the road itself. I absolutely love this line from the source material. It just perfectly captures that feeling of witnessing a miracle. It felt less like an accident being avoided, and more like fate itself had been bribed to look the other way for just a moment. And here's the thing, the rider just kept on going. He was probably so focused on his own little world that he was completely unaware of the chain reaction of risk he'd just set off. He had no idea he had just rolled the dice with his own life and the lives of so many others. I mean, think about who was on that road. You had the driver who saw it all, the parent with 2 kids, the auto driver, the other car, and the rider himself. That's 5 separate families, 5 different futures that were nearly rewritten forever in just 5 seconds.
So why is this one story matter so much? Because it's not just one story. It's a microcosm of the dangers we all face and sometimes create on the road every single day. It's a warning that all of us really need to hear. So what's the lesson here? It's simple stuff, but things we seem to forget. Roads are shared spaces, not our personal racetracks. Indicators are there for communication. They're not just decorations. And we have to remember we're sharing these lanes with the most vulnerable people out there. At the end of the day, our safety is a collective effort, built on the simplest acts of caution.
Ultimately, it all comes back to this one simple fact. After all the chaos, the speed, the near misses, the margin that separated a normal afternoon from a multi-family tragedy was just one single inch. You know, that rider used up a lifetime of luck in 5 seconds. But the road is not a forgiving place, and luck is not a strategy. So we're all left with a question to carry with us. The next time someone rolls those dice, will the road show mercy again?